Hey guys, and welcome back to A&K's Mystery Box. Today we are diving into the Halloween spirit, and we're looking into some DIY projects to make your home extra spooky for this year's Halloween. So dive in deep, keep those eyes open, and get a pencil ready because I got a lot of stuff to show you. So let's dive in. Well, recently, me and Andrew had traveled to Goodwill to look at the wonderful options that they had for Halloween, and they had awesome DIY projects set up. So the first project that they had set up then that they left instructions to do were these lovely wine glass candle holders. And you can decorate them to any color you like. So let's see what all we need for this project to make a lovely reusable pumpkin for this. All right, so for this project, you're gonna need a simple wine glass. You probably figured that within the title. You can find one of these at Goodwill for 99 cents. Then you're going to need some candles for later on. These candles I found, they're at Walmart, 98 cents, real cheap, and they fit perfectly on top of the pedestal wine glass base, whatever you want to call it. And the cool thing is the label peels off, but you can also paint over the peel and make your own label. But for this particular setup, I am peeling off the label because I did that with the other two. So as you probably saw already, you probably saw the finished product ahead of time, and we were probably like, ew, how'd you do it? Very simple. Acrylic paints, paint over it, and then you put your candle on top of it. It's a real cool idea. You don't need a whole lot, and if you have a local Goodwill in your area, all this stuff is cheap and easy to find, and there's shit ton of it. I have an entire box just filled with wine glasses because they were all 99 cents when I went to Goodwill and saw all these ideas. So what I do is I usually lay down a paper towel so that way the paint does not stain wherever we're painting, whether it's the countertop, a table, wherever. Parents, kids tend to be messy with paint. So if you want to go ahead and lay out some newspaper or something, for this particular video, I don't need a whole lot of space to work with. So I'm just going to be doing it. So best type of brush to use for this type of, actually I grabbed the wrong one. So best type of paintbrush to use is the widest one you've got. And if you need to go to the store and buy another set of wide brushes, they're at Walmart. They're not that expensive, maybe $2. Really not that hard on the budget. And then the acrylic paints, I went all out and bought a whole pack for like $5, $5, $6, $7. But I know you can buy smaller packs for like $3, $4, or just one tube for like $1, depending on where you go, Walmart. So what I'm going to do is we're going to paint this one a pumpkin, and I'm going to do it really quick. So get the orange out real quick. Ooh. Get the orange out real quick and try not to dump it everywhere. All right. Ooh. My thing with these acrylic paints is they ooze so easily, and it can be a mess very quickly. So I'm just going to lay the cap right there so that way it soaks onto the paper towel. So now when I did these two ahead of time just to kind of see like how long it would take. It doesn't take that long. Like for instance with the poison apple, I did a more of like a dipped effect with this one, and as you can see I kind of like gobbled the paint on a little bit to make it look like it had been dipped in something green, the poison or whatever you want to call it. So when I did that, it took probably a good maybe hour, 30 minutes, a little bit more than that, at least overnight to dry. So if you want to put this somewhere where kids aren't going to touch it until it's dry, I obviously have a lovely little kitty cat who likes to get into stuff. So I locked it up in the bathroom because neither of us were using the bathroom throughout the night because we were sleeping. So really simple, really easy. But like I said, the more the thicker the paint you put on the glass, the longer it's going to take to dry. So just keep that in mind. You want to keep, like for a pumpkin, we're going to just do an easy thin layer of orange, just enough to kind of cover all this dust and blech. And then we're going to do green up the stem, and then we're done. It's literally that simple. So, and up until this very point, I never even thought of like wine glasses as a way to decorate your house for Halloween. Like I never thought of that. But it's perfect because, I love pumpkins. Pumpkins are something that you have to do every year for Halloween, and I always, as a kid, wanted to go out right away and do pumpkins and get it done. And then they would be rotten and done by Halloween. So it's like I had to wait and wait and wait. And then we would do them, and then they would only be out for like one night. And it was like, kind of wish that we had more time with them, you know, kind of more time with decorations. Because I love Halloween. As soon as October comes around, I'm hitting the decorations. I was a little late this year getting decorations started, but I'm in the process of planning a little vacation in November. So I've been kind of busy doing that as well as working, you know, adulting. Because, you know, some of us still have to get a paycheck at the end of the day. So anyway, so we went to Goodwill, and right when they put out their collection for Halloween stuff, our Goodwill in town advertised that like on the 1st of October or something they were going to be putting out all their Halloween stuff and doing like a Halloween giveaway or spook away or whatever it was. And the way our Goodwill is set up, there's aisles, and then at the end of the aisles there's like showcase type shelves, and they decorated each ending shelf with different types of setups for stuff to do. And one of them was these lovely pedestal candle holder things, and right underneath there was a picture frame, and it gave all the instructions, it gave what we needed to do, and then like on the next shelf down there was a whole pile of wine glasses, whole pile of, you know, used paints and, you know, brushes and stuff like that. Like everything you needed to make this whole project was right there, and I was like, this is too cool. And I literally went and grabbed a shopping cart, told Andrew to go off and do his own shopping, and I literally went from shelf to shelf. So literally what we're going to do in this video is we're going to just bounce from shelf to shelf and do each project in itself. Just one little tester just to kind of see like how the process is done, and then the final product so that way you guys can see. And then it gives you guys ideas too for when you guys want to celebrate Halloween. Well, when the day comes, you know. And I'm getting paint all over my hands. That is the one thing, is the paint does get on your hands a little bit from holding the glass like this, because you do need to turn it. I always do, obviously I do the stem last because you don't want to get green paint on your hands while you're trying to paint the rest of it. But, you know, if you want to do that, go right ahead. I'm not stopping you. If you want to become Shrek for Halloween, or the Hulk, or any other green character that you can think of, and then by all means, play with the green paint. Don't let me stop you. So that looks pretty much done. What I usually do is I do a fresh layer of paint over like so. And then I'll let it dry a little bit. I'm just doing touch-ups here. I'll let it dry, and then I'll paint a face on it for the end. So you guys won't see the face until, or you probably already saw the face because I plan on cutting to the beginning with the finished product. So I will not paint the face on until later, but you guys have already seen it, so. Whoop-de-doo. All right. Well, that looks done, I think. What do you guys think? That looks like a perfectly good orange base. All right, I'm going to wash off the orange off of me, throw away the tin foil, and then I'm going to come back and we'll do the green real quick. Alrighty, so then the next part is green, so you're going to want to use a smaller brush for this one. I almost said toothbrush. I hope I didn't say toothbrush in the beginning. But you want a smaller paintbrush for this part because you're going to want to be very delicate with putting it on and stuff like that. The more details you want, the smaller the brush, because then you'll be able to control where things go, in case you're not an art guru, which I'm not. So, you know, I took a year of art in high school, all right? I know a little shit. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to just go like this down the stem, and this green is a little bit too blue for my taste, for what I wanted, but I'm okay with that. I actually like how it's looking in the light. It's actually the perfect shade. Now that I'm painting it on, I was like, oh, it's a little blue, but now that I'm putting it on, it looks perfect. So, just a little nice, simple stem, and then we'll have it bleed down into, now see, like, here's the part where I want to wait for the rest to dry, because it's starting to mix down at the bottom, and that's not helpful. So, but we're just getting the stem started for the purpose of the video, and like I said, I'll do adding touch-ups later for the finished product. I know you're probably like, oh my god, your head's in the way. Sorry, I'm looking at all angles instead of turning it. So after I painted the original coat on the pumpkin, I gave it a lovely little face. I let it dry overnight. It took a little while for it to get to dry. And then I just added the candles of choice. Now, I had 3 different candles from Walmart, like I said, that costed about 98 cents. If you want to do just simple tea lights, I'm sure you can do that too. But the point is you want small, simple candles, so that way they don't overlap the glass and tip it over, thus causing a fire, or anything like that. So always use with caution with something like this, because obviously it is very rickety. So I'm only lighting them to show you guys the true effect of it, but when I actually decorate this house, I'm just going to leave them closed and leave it like that. But all you gotta do is just light the candle, place on top, and you're ready to party. Potion bottles. We've all heard of them at some point in our lovely lives, especially with the world of Harry Potter coming around, where people make potions to do all kinds of different stuff. So what you'll need for this project, which we'll get into in a little bit, and I'll probably repeat it again, but you'll just need a simple bottle and your paints. So with this lovely one, it looks like if you chug a lug, you're going to turn into a dog. Let's see how we make this one. What we need for this lovely project is a couple of potion-shaped bottles, either old perfume bottles, small vases, or small glass bottles from like olive oil, which is what this was. This was Greek olive oil at some point. And if you choose, like this one doesn't have it, but this one does, get yourself like something with a cork top or something, so that way it looks like it's been corked and closed off. I kind of like the whole stringy dingy thing, so we're going to keep that. But this one, I don't really know what we're going to do. I thought I'd save this and we'll do this together in this video right now, so that way you can kind of see it transform before your very eyes. So we're going to start with this one. And I kind of just figured that, as you can see, this, I don't know, can you see? This lovely bottle has some like star designs on it built into the glass. So I thought it would be kind of cool to just do random colors and do like magic sparkle or something. Now I sound like a unicorn. Magic sparkle. Okay, so we don't need the orange and green anymore because we're done with that. You know me, any chance I get, I'm using purple. And then I think we'll use blue. And then maybe a pink purple, just to kind of keep it mystifying. So let me grab my tin foil because I threw it away, and we will start with the new colors. Alright, got my triangular piece of tin foil, and I got my colors. I just need a brush. And I think what I'm going to use is the same big brush like this. So, kind of giving a look over. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some color in these parts here, because it's got a bit of like, so that way it looks like it's got like a band across it or something. And then like I said, with these, and then maybe we'll fill it with something. You know, maybe tissue paper or painted, whatchamacallit, paper towel. I'll shred it up and throw it in there to give it a look like it's filled with something. And then it's not going to decay or decode with the paper towel. I think that's what we'll do. I'm literally planning as we're filming this today. So, yeah, so I'm going to use the pink and the blue up here, and then the purple will be the stars. That's what we're going to do. Ooh, that's a lot darker than I thought it was going to be. Okay, well, bottoms up. All right. Let's put that there right now. Okay. All right, so I'm already reaching an issue with the paint, because even though it's acrylic paint, the glass is super, super thick. So it's like the minute you go to paint it on, it like smears and gets super clear and you barely see the color. So for something like this where it's a definitely like hefty piece of glass. Obviously, if I were to drop this on the floor right now, it will shatter. Just overdo it with your paint a little bit. The wine glass was plastic, so that was a little easier to paint because the plastic doesn't really. I guess the best way to say is the plastic absorbed it a little bit. But anyway, so I'm just going to doing a quick bend here. Looks like shit. Well, that's all right. It's the homely about feeling that counts, right? I don't even know what the fuck I'm saying. All right. Icky. Sorry for the sound of lawnmowers in the background. I didn't realize they were going to be doing yard work today when they just did it yesterday. So yeah, there's that thin band. And I'll just finish off the paint here. Use the same brush again for the blue. Just kind of do that real quick. Oops, gotta open it. I'm telling you, these colors just ooze out like crazy. Alright. Okay. I like how it contrasts a little bit on this one. So I'll go this way so that way you guys can kind of see the color starting as I turn it. That way I'm just not hiding it from you for a complete minute and a half. But yeah, when I know I had started to explain it, whenever I go to Grandma's house to do Halloween and set up candy and stuff, her house has like a huge ass porch. So what I usually do, what I started doing about 3 or 4 years ago, maybe 5, when I was obviously too old to get dressed and go hand out candy or go get candy and old enough to hand it out, I would set up the entire porch up and I gave it a witch's theme. And I went to the local, like, Michael's, I think it was, and got, like 10 or 15 bottles, but they were already decorated with, like, Halloween labels. Like, one said crow's beaks or something like that, and stuff like that. So it's like, I didn't really get a chance to really decorate them to what I wanted them to be, but I really didn't care, because it helped finish the aesthetic of witch type stuff, which I always liked witches growing up as a kid. So like, you know, potions and stuff like that, I was always creative. Like I was like, ooh, you know, eyes of old man or something like that. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a third color up the top here that I haven't done. And I think I'm going to do this green again with the same green that I used for the pumpkin, because I did like this color. Talking with a paintbrush in my mouth. I did like this color when I first saw it come up on the pumpkin. The way the light hits it, it makes a really good color. So I'm just going to go ahead and dip in with my brush already mixed with the blue a little bit. So that way it has a different shade than the pumpkin, because I don't want it to completely outdo myself. And then when it starts to turn blue, I know it's time to dip. Very simple. And I told you guys I was going to turn this way so you guys could see what I'm doing. But here I am not doing it. But this is a cool way to like take an afternoon when it's raining like today and just kind of sit calmly and do what you got to do real quick. And that turned out way better than I expected it to. It like blended in perfectly. How lovely. I'm just going to kind of color it in nicely, give it a nice thing, and then I'm going to take the lip and I'm going to just dip my brush in all 3 colors and just kind of around the rim we go. And then when I redip, I'm going backwards, so that way it's a different line of colors each time. And I just stuck my finger in the blue. Gonna have to touch that up in a minute. Try not to touch the vase now because I got paint on my hands and I don't want to fuck it up. There we go. Perfect. A little bit of pink, a little bit of blue, a little bit of green. Kind of mixed together a little bit. Just do a little dab in here. Do a little dab to give it a rift effect. I know you guys can't see it. I'll hold it to you in a second. But I'm just dabbing so that way some of the lighter colors can come up through the green. Giving it a bit of a glossy glow. A little bit. Almost stuck the paintbrush in my mouth again because, you know, that's how we hold things. But yeah, so there's that. Don't know if you guys can kind of see that. So there's the top of our bottle. And I need to clean it with my hands. Yes. All right. Clean off my brush. I have to hold on to it with my mouth while I'm doing things, otherwise it just doesn't work this way. So folding it over to do a new palette, so that way it's not complete. I don't have to get up and do it all over again. And then we're going to do a smaller brush, probably the one that we use for the green, so I'm hoping this is clean. I cleaned it out before I started this part of the video. And then we're going to focus on the stars, and I'm just going to give them a quick overtouch with the purple. And then this potion bottle will be done. Then we can move on to the next one. So there we go. I love me some purple. I love purple. It always reminds me of Halloween. That's why I love it. So this time of year, I'm loving all the purples that come out and all the different colors that go with it for Halloween. I love it all together. All right, so take a look here. Okay. Let's see how well I can do this. It's a bit of a pain in the butt because the glass is creaked. So the paint kind of wants to just go on the outside, but not in the crevice, which is kind of what I wanted. But that's okay. It really doesn't matter. That's the fun thing about Halloween decorations. You get an idea in your head, and you start to do it, and then before you know it, if it turns into something else, it may be greater, it may be worse. We never know. But that kind of turned out a little good. But I think I know what I'm going to do with it. I'm just going to... I'll come back to it. I'll let it dry a little bit, and then I'll come back to it. So I'm going to leave the little stars alone, and then I'm just going to do the big stars. So just these two. Kind of give it a little bit of a accent. I was going to do every star, but I'm like, no, I'm not feeling it. So I think I'm going to call this bottle Bottled Up Wishing Stars, because it looks like different stars are in the bottle and they're just kind of floating there. So maybe I will do the smaller stars, because that wasn't really much to work with. Yeah, why not? Not like I'm doing anything else today. Alright. Kinda didn't turn out too great. The smaller you go, the worse it is to paint. Okay. Alright. Bit of a different texture for each star. Alright. Coolness. So when this dries, I will be putting paper towel in, and I'll probably paint that like a light blue or something, and then tear it up and kind of just toss it in there to give it an effect like there's something inside it, so that way it's not empty. But yeah, so that's that one. So we'll set that one aside and let it dry ever so carefully. Which I just stuck my finger in. That's lovely. We'll just cut that out. Alright, now that I got purple paint all over my fingers, let's move on. So for this potion bottle, I'm just going to focus on the label. I'm going to cover it over with a white, because I don't feel like tearing it off and doing my own label, nor do I feel like taping one over because that looks a little bit tacky. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to paint it over with a simple white, let that dry, and then I'll name it something for the end of the video. Cool thing is the label is paper, so the paint will go on and it'll be thick real quick. So I don't only have to do one quick swipe through with the paper. And I left the purple on just a little bit, so the white has a little bit of a purple tint to it. Which, you know me, I'm okay with that. There we go. Very nice, very nice. So while that dries, we will do the other product, and then I will add the label on later for you guys to see either in the beginning of the episode. So that is the easy steps to make simple potion bottles, to make your lovely decor a little more exciting, especially if you have old vases that you're not using up. So for this one, which you guys saw that we started off, I gave it a little bit more color, and I figured since I was going for the whole bottled wishing star look, I got some birthday candles to throw inside, and then I get a nice little Kleenex topper, I guess, is the best thing I could think of. But yeah, so these two are the things that I got for the potion bottles. I wish I would have gotten more bottles at Goodwill when I was there, but they really didn't have any that were decent looking. They kind of looked, there was a couple that were like shaped like this, where it was like part of it. So I think originally it's meant to sit like that, but I don't like that. So, yeah, so these two were the only bottles that I found, but I may go back and make a couple other ones pretty soon. So let's look and see what we have next in our lovely lineup of DIY items. So the next DIY item that we have that I'm going to show you how to do real quick, I'm going to insert it now because this one took a lot of steps, so I decided to do them off. I mean, not a whole lot of steps, just a lot of preparation, and required me to do it in a different room, so I unfortunately could not put it on camera for you guys. So the next DIY item that we have is the haunted figurine, and it's really easy to do. Like, all this stuff is really easy to do. Goodwill, you guys are smart with giving us ideas for 99 cents. Like, I kid you not, this stuff is just amazing. So if you have a local Goodwill, like, and I know I'm going to keep saying this throughout the video, but if you have a local Goodwill thing up in your area, look in the figurine section. There, each one always has like a little statue section. A couple of the figurines are broken in spots. Like, I don't know if you can see here, but she's missing her hand. So what you want for this project, and I'll put her behind me so that way you can kind of see her a little bit. What you'll need for this project is a figurine, and then you'll need the high gloss black spray paint. Real simple to use, just a couple sprays. As you could probably have already seen, I missed like a good back section of the figurine here. I'll bring it closer so you guys can actually see it. But little dusted over. It gives it a bit of a dusty effect for the figurine, like it's old and possessed. And then you want to paint the eyes red with your acrylic paints. So, you know, a lot of these projects weave in together with the supplies that you're going to need. You're going to need paints, and you're going to need brushes, and it's just a matter of getting the stuff together that you'll need. So this one was really easy, but like I said, it took a lot of prep because spray paint is a little bit harsher to work with, and it takes a lot of time to dry. I let her sit overnight is what I did. That's how long it took me to get it done, and then I literally just painted the eyes on before filming. So once that dries, she'll be put out for show for everybody. So up next, we have this lovely thing. This lovely thing here. I wonder what you is. 3 little ghosties up in a tree. 3 little ghosties laughing at me. 3 little ghosties. Now this is quite true. 3 little ghosties coming after you. Do you like that? That's my little poem for the day. Alright, so next project is going to be cool. We're making ghosts. So I thought that would be a fun little intro to the ghost section. So as you saw that finished product, but you're probably wondering what's it made out of. You know what these are, right? They're the lovely little glass things that go on your ceiling fan that has a light attached to it. So I didn't realize this, but if you put googly eyes, I'm painting on my eyes for this one. I fail at getting be prepared, and I did not get googly eyes. Don't shoot me with a rock, but I am just gonna do a simple face, and I'm gonna use black to do that with. So if you're going to do it my way, here's what you need. First, go to your Goodwill, if you have one, or find a Goodwill nearest to you, and see if they have these lovely lampshade things. I don't know what you call these. These are light shades, right? But these are 99 cents. When I saw the little setup, they had them out. They were like 99 cents each. I got a whole shit ton of them. So we're going to just paint a little face. And then the cool thing is you can put glow sticks in them. All right, that's the cool part, is you can grab glow sticks. I will grab glow sticks before I film the end of this video, so that way you guys will see what it looks like when we're done. But for right now, I'm just going to show you a quick way to paint on the face, because that's all you have to do is put on a face. So I think for the first ghost we're going to do is the first ghost we're going to do, which I didn't grab the other two. Here I am going all 3 little ghosties, and I only have 1. So hold on. Little behind the scenes magic. By the way, these lovelies here, I don't know what that was. These little lovely crows here, Walmart, $1. We have the big one here, then we have this one here, and then we have this lovely one here. I think this one we're going to make a female ghost, don't you think? Alright, so I'm going to set the other 2 aside for the moment, so that way they're not in my way, and then not in the way of the viewer either. Alright. So I'm just going to dip my pimple. I'm going to dip my pimple. I'm going to dip the, fuck it. I can't talk today to save my life. Alright, so just painting a simple face on. So this one, I'm going to do the classic ghost, because everybody loves a good old-fashioned ghost. Black eyes, black mouth, black nose. You know what I'm saying? Really simple, really easy. Doesn't get much better than that. So that's what we're going to do with that one. And yeah. So that one is set aside. Done. I'm running out of room. Just running out of room here. So for this one, I'm going to peel off the tag, and then I'm going to do a little bit of a more feminine type ghost. One that'll really do it up. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to do a little black to get the face started. So the eyes, I'm going to do the same black eyes, but then with a little bit of the purple here, I'm going to branch off and do a little bit flamboyant eyelashes with a little bit of flair, giving it the illusion that she's a woman ghost. Don't fuck with her. She already been through enough shit today. She's dead. I think that sums it up. She's dead. You know what I'm saying? My eyelashes look like shit. And then with the purple, I'm going to give her some nice, voluptuous mouth texture here. Fortunately, the texture on the lampshade makes it very hard to be artistic, so just going to give it a quick run through, and there we go. It looks very childish, but it works. So, and then for the last one, for this one, I'm going to be a little different because I have no idea what I'm doing. So, go back to the black for the face, and I got to take the tag off. I know there's people probably in the comments, they're like, oh my god, you just touched the paintbrush with paint and now you're putting it in your mouth. Promise you, there ain't nothing on the end. So, I'm not eating paint today, I promise you that. So I'm going to do this side because neither of the tags are seen. And this one's easier to paint on because the texture is very flat. Moaning. There we go. So that's that part. That's really done and easy. Seems like these ghosties know how to have some fun. They're really cool to use and put together. This project is. It's really simple. And unfortunately, I didn't get any glow sticks before I filmed this part, so I'm using my trusty flashlight here. But go to Walmart, get yourself some glow sticks. You throw them in wherever they're sitting, and they'll have a very eerie glowing effect. Alright, you guys, thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know it was kind of haphazard with telling you guys everything, but seriously, head out to your local Goodwill. This is not a sponsored thing. If you're all for DIY home projects for Halloween, the best place to go is Goodwill because all the stuff is cheap and they gave some awesome ideas. So for the wine, and I'm going to do a quick overview so that way you guys aren't totally lost or totally confused on how to do everything. So for all these projects as a whole, if you decide you want to do all these projects this year, for a whole, you're going to need acrylic paints, you need paintbrushes, newspaper. For the wine glasses, you'll need small candles and wine glasses or plastic cups, you know, wine plastic shaped cups. For the potion bottles, you'll need your vases or anything like that, and then just extra things that are kind of just taking up space in your junk drawer, like candles, or, you know, if you want to take a piece of paper and shred it up and throw it inside, whatever the mind comes to is what you can create. For the lovely little ghosty things that we were just looking at, like I said, you'll need some glass lamp shades for like your ceiling fan, stuff like that. So, like I said, at my Goodwill, this was like 99 cents, so that's why I got like 3 of them. And then for the figurine, as said before, you're going to need a broken figurine or a regular one. It really doesn't matter. And then black spray paint is what you'll need to get, or just regular paint too. If you want to take the time and paint your own design on the statue, that really doesn't matter. But thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Have fun making your Halloween projects.